What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Subscriber Sunday. Now guys, before we get started with today's episode, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody who sent in questions this week. This was by far the most popular week I've ever had for Subscriber Sunday. We got so many questions on Snapchat, on YouTube and on Twitter. It was insane. I could not fit all of them into this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of the questions from this week and answer them in next week's the next Sub Sunday as well. But thank you so much, guys. It's awesome that you sent in so many questions. But guys, yes, let's get started with this week's fan art. So this week's fan art, guys, comes from Lexi Lufa, and she sent me this on Twitter, and she sent me this really cool image that she made on this website, and this is me as like a caricature. It's really cool. I'm like a gamer. I got my headset on, I got the controller, I've actually got my glasses on. Them glasses look like exactly the same as my glasses. It's crazy. Got a little kind of like stubble, which I actually have. Got the black hoodie and stuff. I thought it was really cool thing that you can make. I think she used that website that's at the top of the picture right there. So if you guys want to make any of these for yourself, you can go to that website and do it. But it's really cool. So thank you so much for sending that in, Lexi. So guys, let's move on to this week's questions. Now the first question comes from No Name on YouTube, and they ask, Biggs, can you give us any tips on building modern houses in Minecraft? Now this is a really popular question that I've got throughout the years of my YouTube channel. People have always asked me this question. Now this is a hard question to answer because I was never a good builder when I first started. I was the same as everyone else. Nobody is a good builder when they first start playing Minecraft, because it's actually quite a hard thing to do, like build nice stuff in Minecraft. The way I did it, the way I started getting better at building, I'm not saying I'm the best builder, because I'm far from it. There is some crazy builders out there now, but the way I started to get better with my building was I started watching a bunch of tutorials. That was the first way I got better. I didn't copy their builds. I kind of watched their builds, kind of watched how they did stuff, and kind of took little aspects from here and there, other tutorials and stuff like that, and tried to mix them together to make my own style. Another thing that I did, I would take like a house from real life, and I would take two houses from real life, and I kind of try to mix them together, like do the front of one house and do the back of the other, to see if I can make a nice house. Sometimes they look horrible, but sometimes they look good. So that's kind of what I did. Experiment a lot. You need to experiment with different things. It doesn't matter if you make something that's horrible, just you're gonna get it right eventually and it will start to look good. So that's what I did. I started experimenting with different styles, watching people's videos, not copying them exactly, but watching what they did, do little bits the same as what they do, but then try and make it your own and make it different, and then you kind of end up developing your own style. That's what I did. I kind of mixed and matched things, and then yeah, I slowly but surely started getting better at building. So the next question comes from Diamond Creeper 101, and they ask, hey Biggs, I've got 3 questions for you. 1, what was your first impression of Zai? 2, what is your favourite TV show? And 3, what is your favourite movie? Now my first impressions of Zai was, I'm going to answer this question when I first met her in real life, because I had first impressions on like the internet and stuff like that, but I'm going to answer it based on what I thought when I first saw her in real life. I thought she was really pretty. She's sitting right next to me now, guys, so I have to be careful what I say, but she was really pretty, and she was really pretty to the point where it made me really nervous. And she could tell you, like the first day we met, I was just like all over the place. I was trying to take my coat off and I couldn't take it, and my arm was getting caught in my coat. I don't know what I was doing, but she made me really nervous because she was a lot prettier than what she looked like over the internet, I guess. But yeah, because on the internet she looked old, she had wrinkles and everything like that. No, I'm just kidding, guys, but she was really pretty when I saw her in real life, and that was my first impressions of her. Number 2, what was my favorite TV show? My favorite TV show is The Flash. And number 3, what is my favorite movie? My favorite movie ever would have to be 7 Pounds from that's a Will Smith movie. That is my favorite movie ever. So the next question comes from Jetstar on YouTube, and they ask, hey Biggs, I have a few questions for you. Number 1, what are your coordinates of your house on the Chaoscraft server? Number 2, what time do you usually play on the Chaoscraft SMP server? And number 3, what's your favorite thing about your fans? Thank you. So number one, what are the coordinates to my house? The coordinates to my house on the server are x288 and z minus 2699. I will put them on the screen for you guys, or if I don't put them on the screen, I will definitely put them in the description if you want to go check out my house on the Chaoscraft SMP server. Number two, what time do you usually play on the server? So I usually upload videos on a Wednesday and a Sunday for the Chaoscraft SMP server, so I usually record those videos on a Tuesday and a Saturday. Now, so the days that you're going to catch me on the server are definitely on a Tuesday, definitely on a Wednesday, and the Saturday and the Sunday. So they're the days that you're going to catch me on there. But time wise, it's a bit random because sometimes I play early morning UK time, which is like super late in the night time for you guys in America. But if you definitely want to come on the server and play with me, the best time to do it is on a Tuesday in my live streams. That is the best place to come on the server and play along and spectate with me. So that's the best time to do it. And number three, what is your favorite thing about your fans? Now, to be honest with you, I don't like calling you guys fans. I just think it sounds weird. Like, I don't know, I'm not a celebrity, so I don't feel like I should have fans. You guys are just like my subscribers, my followers. So my favorite thing about you guys is how loyal you are. Like, you're all so crazy loyal. It's insane. Some of you guys have been here from like 1,000 subscribers, and I can't believe that because I've been doing this now for like 3 years, and you guys have been following me for 3 years, and you've been interested in what I've been doing for 3 years, and just how loyal you've been to me throughout the years is absolutely crazy. I remember one day when I was speaking to Zion, we was actually talking about how you guys are so loyal to us, and we were saying like our channels are not super big. Like, I'm not a really big YouTuber. Like, there's YouTubers out there with millions and millions of subscribers. I have 180,000. I'm not a huge YouTuber, but sometimes I feel like with the support that you guys give me, we can like rival some of the bigger YouTubers out there, because it's absolutely crazy how you guys kind of support me, Zai, and all the people on the Chaoscraft server. Sometimes I feel like the support we have is more than what our numbers represent, kind of thing, if you know what I mean. But yeah, that's my favorite thing about you guys, is that you're so loyal and you stick through you stick with me through thick and thin. So the next question comes from the Sass Master of Doncaster. That's a good name, I really like it. So they say, I have a few questions for you. Number one, what first inspired you to do YouTube? And number two, who started YouTube first, you and Zai? So what inspired me to do YouTube? I would have to say just other YouTubers, watching other people do it. When I first got on to YouTube, the first channel I ever watched was Machinima, and I started watching Call of Duty videos. I don't know why. I never really played Call of Duty back then, but for some reason I just ended up watching them. And then there was like Machinima like director at the time. They used to upload to the Machinima channel, and then they started playing Minecraft, and then I watched a Minecraft video, and then from there I started watching other Minecraft YouTubers, and then I met Professor Chaos, and then he convinced me to start doing YouTube videos, and that's how I started. And who started my channel first, me or Zai? Now I think it might be Zai, but I'm pretty sure we started our channels within like a couple of months of each other. I think I started in April and she started a bit earlier than that, or we started at pretty much the same year, but it's like a couple months apart. I can't remember who's first, whether it's me or Zai, but I think she's first just by like a couple of months. So the next question comes from David Wazwarayak, aka Vadak, and they say, hey Biggs, massive fan, watched all of your videos. I think your COD gameplays are sick, man. I have a question for Swab Sunday. Who's your favorite Just Cause 3 YouTuber? Don't shoot the bracket part, but you can only pick Vadak. Thanks. I'll pay you £2 when I next see you. Yep, my favourite Just Cause 3 YouTuber is Vadak, and I want that £2, please. Thank you. So the next question comes from Krista Cree on Snapchat, and she asks, hey Ricky, what is the best and worst thing about doing YouTube full time? Krista Cree. Now, I would have to say the best thing about doing YouTube full time is just the enjoyment you get out of making something you're proud of and things like that. Like, I can think back of doing Minecraft Comes Alive and how proud I was of that series when I did it, and it just made you feel good, you know. And knowing that so many people watch your videos and you make them happy, it's just sounds like such a corny thing, but it really does like make you want to do it more. When people send you messages and say like, oh, I really love your videos and stuff like that, like that's one of the best things about doing it. And one of the worst things about doing it is that it's non-stop, 24/7. You can never ever switch off. You never really get a break or anything like that. That is probably one of the worst things of doing it. So it does get on top of you sometimes. Like, it gets a bit too much, even to the point where you want to take a break, but when you want to take a break, you have to pre-record and stuff like that. So you end up working so hard for like 2-3 weeks just to have a week's break, and then that week's just not enough because you're so burnt out for working so hard the first 2-3 weeks. The week is not enough, and then when you come back, you're like, oh. So that is probably the worst thing about it, is that it's 24/7 every single day. You never switch off. Like, there's no start time, there's no end time. It's as soon as you wake up, as soon as you go to bed, it's YouTube. That is it. It's literally your life. So that's probably, YouTube being my life is not the worst thing. It's just that it's like 24/7. That is, you can never switch off. That's probably one of the negative sides to it. But I think the positives outweigh the negatives. That's why I do it. So guys, let's move on to the Snapchat.
Have you ever had no force? And if you got married to Zai, where would you live?
Thank you so much, Owen, for sending in your Snapchat. Now, the first question I'm not quite sure, but the second question, where would me and Zai live if we got married? Now, I think we probably live in England, but I'm not 100% sure. Wherever it's easiest to live, that's probably where we'd live. If it's easier to live in America, we'd live in America. But if it's easier to live in England, we'll live in England. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Hey, Biggs, what's the worst you've ever gotten in trouble at school?
Thank you so much for sending in your question, Chase. Now, the worst I ever got in trouble in school, it's actually a story that stands out to me because it is the worst I ever got in trouble in school, and I actually got threatened to get expelled. But I'll tell you guys what actually happened. So I was in English class with my friends and I was messing around. When I was in school, I was kind of that kid who just messed around a lot. I never really listened that much. I always got my work done because my dad always told me, this is one thing my dad always told me, he goes, I don't care how much you mess around or what you do and get in trouble, but make sure you always get your work done. And I always did get my work done, but I did mess around a lot in school as well. So I was in English class and I was messing around with my friends, talking, not listening and stuff like that. And the teacher told me off. And she had every right to tell me off because I wasn't listening, but she told me off, and I thought, me being the cool kid I am, I'm being sarcastic, but yeah, I thought, you know what, I'm going to show off in front of my friends. So she told me off, she turned around, she sat back on the desk, and I picked up my textbook and I threw it at her, and I threw it at her back, and it hit like a lower back near like her bum where she was like sitting on the desk, and she kind of just like flipped out. And like, I personally think she overreacted a little bit, but obviously not because I threw a book at her. But she flipped out. She stormed out the classroom and she went and got like the headmaster of the school, like the principal. In England we call it headmaster, but like the principal of the school. And I got pulled out of the class. I got taken to like the principal's office, and there was like 2 or 3 teachers in there. Well, they sat me in there, then they went away, and then they brought in 2 or 3 teachers, and they came and spoke to me and said, this is unacceptable, you cannot throw books at teachers and stuff like this. And they said if it was any other time, we would expel you from the school and you wouldn't be welcome back here. But the only reason they didn't expel me is because this was my last year in my high school. Like, it was the last year of high school, and I had my exams due, like I think it was like 3 weeks from that date, and they said they would have expelled me, but because my exams are so close, they didn't want to ruin that, and like for me not to be able to take my exams. So yeah, that's probably the most trouble I ever got in when I was at school. But guys, that is all we have time for today. Like I said at the start of the video, guys, thank you so much for all the questions that you sent in. I couldn't get through all of them today, so if your question did not get answered today, it might get answered in next Sub Sunday, because I'm going to carry some of these questions this week over to the next Sub Sunday. But thank you so much to everybody who sent it in. But guys, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in next Subscriber Sunday.